All right, everybody, welcome to the Breaking the Seal panel. I am a Radical Reggie, and Josh, the game father Hamblin, is here, and we're gonna show you. Well, this panel is called Breaking the Seal, and one of you guys from the audience is gonna. Okay, I won't give it all away. I'm excited. I just found out about it. So.
To the movie first. Yeah, I have a drink.
I have a drink. Okay.
So I'm Josh Hamblin. Some people call me the Game Father. I'm a vendor here. Have been for several years. Actually, this is where Reggie and I met.
Yep.
Long time ago.
Long time ago, one of the shows. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So we called it Breaking the Seal because Reggie is notorious for opening up sealed games. But yeah, we wanted to share a couple things, few things with you guys. We're going to talk a little bit about grading old stock, grading video games. We're going to talk a little bit about raffle groups. We're going to talk a little bit about
our greatest pickup stories.
Yeah, pickup stories. We're going to take some questions, and so don't be shy. If you got a question, just
Now's the time to ask it, like when we do the questions part. So don't just think of it now.
So, what are your guys' opinions on grading video games? Anyone have an opinion on it? Yes.
I don't care. I just want to play
care.
it. I like the box because it looks kind of cool on the
good.
shelf, and it gives me those happy, good feelings from
Yeah.
when I was a kid. And I miss game manuals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Red, you got an opinion on it?
I feel like it kind of like it lowers the value, to be honest. But some people like that on there. Like I said, I just like playing the game. I just like having a physical copy, and I'm good to go from there. I mean, I don't look at my games as in the way of like they're worth money or I could sell them later. I mean, they're for me. You know what I mean? It's cool that games are worth money, but I'm not really looking at it like that. I just want to play the game, own it, and that's that.
So, since this is being recorded, I'll make sure that I keep that in mind next time he wants to sell me something. Games have no value to Reggie, so we're just gonna make a nice little hug trade. No, but seriously, grading games really isn't about increasing the value. It's about preserving the history, and they're a great way to do it. There's a great company here, Water Games, that has been kind of revolutionizing the grading industry, and some things that they do that I really like. And I'm not getting paid to say this. This is just because I know the guys and I really like their service. They can grade loose games. This is actually a prototype. They dump the game beforehand. It can be traced through the matrix, and so they're preserving the history of it. They can do CIB games. This is a sealed one. Just CIB games as well. And then the other thing that I really like is on the back of the box here, the case here. It breaks down like why they gave it the grade they did. It has a separate grade for the box, the cart. If it's a CIB game, they have a separate condition for the seal if it's a seal game. So it's a little more transparent, and really, it's not just like they're flipping a coin or using a magic 8-ball to get the grade. There's really a reason why the games are grading the way they are. And then actually, they let me bring one game in here that's kind of the draw here is the Nintendo World Championship. And this they can grade. It's just a loose cart, and they explain why they got the grade that they did. So yeah, it's a great way. It protects it, preserved it.
So is the highest grade a pro? I'm seeing that right there on that one.
No, the grade is on the front here. This is a prototype. That's what
Oh,
it stands
okay.
for. But like right here, you'll have an 8.0, and then and then like on a seal game right here, you'll have the box grade would be a 6.5, and then right on the side here, the seal, they actually rate the seal would be an A for this.
Okay.
So, a lot of people use PRGE for their grading, and they're really kind of focused on the condition of the cellophane, the plastic, and they kind of ding you a lot for scratches and whatnot, but this breaks it up a little bit so that you have a better opportunity of getting a higher grade, even if there's some slight damage on the cellophane and whatnot. But Reggie, so a lot of times you see these rare games out, but a lot of times people can't afford them, right?
Right.
So what's really been getting more and more popular in the industry lately is the raffle groups.
Yeah.
What do you think about those?
Okay. I haven't won anything yet, so I'm kind of like, yeah, but
So
I think they're good.
for those who don't know what that is, so people are basically selling raffle tickets primarily through Facebook,
Right.
and then they're just pricing the game slightly over retail, or sometimes
Right.
it's way over retail, and then you buy a ticket, they spin the wheel or randomize the list, and then someone is lucky enough to win the game. A lot of mixed feelings on that.
Well, me and you, we have actually seen honestly, I feel it's good, but we ran into like an issue with one person on.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's always some drama.
There's always some drama like that.
Anytime you have the opportunity to rip people off, there's going to be someone who's
someone
dishonest to do it.
Right, but I think it's a good thing, and it's fun, and it's a good way to interact, with the community. So I think it's good. I really enjoy it. I just haven't won anything yet, but hopefully that'll change. So it is. It is.
It really just comes down to gambling, right?
Yeah.
So I guess my opinion on it is you have to treat it as such. It is gambling. It's addictive, just like any other type of gambling. And the difference between like some gambling is you can't control a randomizer. It's just it's the the odd, just because you buy so many slots out of so many, the odds aren't really going to be in your favor. It's always truly random. So it is what it is. I think that in some ways it's increased the cost of a lot of higher end games because raffle group, the people that run the groups can pretty much afford to pay top dollar for the stuff and then mark that. But if you're going to do it, I would just suggest getting to know someone who's actually, someone and can trust to run the raffle, because there have been some horror stories of people getting ripped off.
Yeah, it's pretty much anything though, but it's thrilling though, and it's a lot of fun. But like I said, I haven't won anything yet, so I'm still hoping. But
have anyone out here ever tried to play in the raffles?
Any of you guys try raffles?
Yeah.
Have you won? How was it for you? There you go. Whoa, okay. All right, man. Yes. Good story. All right, awesome, man.
I haven't played in Indian in a while, but probably the most expensive game I won was a Hagani. I think I won that for like $20.
You still have it?
Of course not.
Oh.
I'm a filthy reseller. But I'm as clean as they come.
Awesome,
Clean
man.
and filthy as they come.
Awesome.
But just be cautious with it. You gotta.
Yeah, just don't get addicted to it, especially if you're on a bad streak, take a break and then come back, maybe you'll win something, but just don't get addicted to it too crazy where you're like, yeah.
So, Reggie, tell us about one of your crazy game stories.
So I had a great pickup. I got a couple of them. I'll tell you guys one of them here. Before I had a Dreamcast, I went to there was like a swap meet mall called the BNI, and there was a clothing shop, and all they sold was clothes. So I glanced over there, and they had this glass case. There was video games inside of it. I was like, whoa, what is this? What's going on here? And I asked the lady, I said, is this in the right place? And she said, yeah, it's consignment. Oh, it's a consignment. Well, how much is the stuff in here? Nothing's priced. She said, anything in there is just $10, no matter what it is. I was like, whoa. I was like, my heart, dude, I took a step back. I didn't show her that I was like, but I was like inside. I was like, wow, oh my God. So they had Ill Bleed for Dreamcast in there, complete. Ring in there also, and they were both $10 a piece. So I grabbed those, and that kickstarted my Dreamcast collection. I didn't even have a Dreamcast yet. I went and got a Dreamcast. I got like one of the rarest games. I was like, oh my God, this is insane. Like, this is one of the hardest games to find for it, the most expensive, and I got it like for $10. So now that kind of like got me pumped up, and I started collecting Dreamcast. So that started my Dreamcast collection, and I still have it to this day. I love Dreamcast. And another story, there's a store, this old man in the store. He's always like really mean and awkward. He's just like, he hates having a store, but he loves it at the same time. It seems like he doesn't like selling anything, because it's like his personal collection, but he's a reseller. So,
I think we all know people like that.
yeah, I know, right? They bring it in, but they don't want to sell it. So basically what he would do, he would tell people like, hey, how much, he doesn't have anything priced. So someone asked him how much is something's priced, he'd say, oh man, it's too expensive, man, you can't afford it, don't buy that. And you're like, what the heck? So I actually went in there, I started to get to know him and talk to him and everything, hey, how are you doing, man? Also, I'm doing this and that. And he had a game, and this game was Cold Flying Squadron for the Sega CD. He had it at $250. And this was back in 2013. Now we know what that game goes for now. It's like $1,500 complete. I wish well anyway, I'll get to that.
Don't worry about the values, right?
But I asked him, I grabbed the game, and I said, hey, like my friend, what would you do for this game, man? Look, how about I give you $100 for it, $100. And he thought about it, he looked, and he let me get it for $100, which is unbelievable. I didn't think it was gonna happen. I just threw it out there, and he did it. So that was one of my craziest stories for that. I mean, having that Sega CD game is like the rare Sega CD game now. It's going for like $1,500. So I wish I had kept it, but I hooked a friend up with it because he needed to complete a set. But those are my two craziest stories that have happened like over the last couple of years. So, yeah. Oh, go ahead, kiddo.
How do you grade box games when you don't even know if it works? Like if it just happens?
How do you grade it?
Yeah. You don't know if the game works or not. It's a box.
If
Well-
you can, how do you know if it will work?
Well, if you're grading a sealed game, you're trying to preserve it in that condition. So you're not gonna. Chances are you don't want to open it. So you probably don't even care if it works. Some of us nerds in the community just like to look at pretty shiny things on the shelf, right? And I mean, when you have a $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 game, it's nice to have it protected. And accidents happen, and things fall off shelves or popsicles melt. Stuff like that.
Yeah, that just registered. I was like, wait, popsicles? Oh.
You never know. Just a little job.
Yeah. I never thought of it though as the preservation. That's a good way to look at this. It's just preserving these.
I mean, especially with like a prototype game.
Yeah.
A lot of people just hold on to it and they don't dump it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They don't get to share it with anyone. So
Yeah,
that's the great part about this company is they're really into preserving the history and the game and content of it. So
I like that.
like that. Oh, good question though.
Is it expensive to get something like?
Not too bad. I mean, for your basic run-of-the-mill game, I just had some. I think it was like $35 or $40, and then I believe they charge a percentage on the really expensive stuff, but it's way cheaper than.
I have a second copy of Hunting Ground for PS2. I think I might want to get it rated.
Yeah.
So but that's one of my favorite horror games out there. Anybody play Hunting Ground before? You played it?
Yeah.
Awesome, man. You guys should be looking for that while you're here. But I might get that.
Yeah, good question. So I've had some pretty crazy stories. It's almost not fair because I do this for a living, so I could just talk for hours and hours about killer pickups and getting truckload or two at a time. Some recent things, pickups that I've had And I hesitate to call them pickups because most of the time the stuff's not going in my collection, but acquisitions, I'll say, investments. But it's still video games. I still get excited about it, and that's why I do what I do. But I was recently on a business trip, going down to California, and was in a game store, and I had a stack of games and piled up, and I was negotiating with the store, and it was almost closing time, and guy walks in and starts chatting, starts telling me about his collection, and starts saying, I've got this really rare item that you probably never heard of.
Oh, I know.
And I'm like, well, yeah, I probably have heard of it, but go ahead. At this point, it was late at night, and I was just trying to get back on the road. So he says, well, you ever heard of an assassin's case? And anyone here heard of an assassin's case? So for PlayStation 1, Josh, you know what I'm talking about. So PlayStation 1, I think it was for E3. They
E3
had
1995 or 96. It was
yeah,
exclusive.
so it's Elemental Gearbolt.
Yeah.
They had a that was the prize for their.
Yeah, it was the Assassin case. It comes with the game, and it comes with the gold GunCon controller,
Yep.
which is extremely rare. Gold memory card.
Yep. So the first release of that came with gold memory card, and then they were really struggling with having the gold plating stay. So in fact, they actually issued letters to tell people that got it to don't use the gun because it's just going to wear off. So the second run of them, they started just putting the red PS1 memory cards in the box, in the case. And it's really cool. I mean, it's a metal case. It almost looks like something that someone would, have handcuffed to themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got the, embossed logo on that and everything. Came with a letter and the gun, the sealed game, the memory card. They had about, I don't think the exact numbers known, there were about 40 to 50 known that were produced. So, when you're talking anything with that kind of numbers, you speed up time, decades, that becomes extremely rare item. So I'm in the store trying to buy some games. He says, oh yeah, I got this case, and I was like, really? And so he starts going on and on about, well, if you saw what I really had, you'd never believe it, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, let's go. Let's go. And he
He was
just,
so straight as fuck.
this was like 9:30 at night, okay? Gotta live up to the name, right? So I was like, okay, let's prove it, basically. And so, no joke, he was on his bike, and I had my truck into my trailer, and he gets in my vehicle. I know.
He's like some homeless dude?
Well, he should have been because he had a lot of rare stuff. But as you may know, a lot of collectors are poor because they don't want to sell their stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, he wasn't homeless. He did have a home, and I went in. I drove him to his house. This strange guy, and was looking for games, And I walk in, and he's got stuff everywhere. I mean, just variety of stuff, not just video games. VHS tapes, musical instruments, books, comics, video games. Adult material. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm not going to make it out of here. So he starts showing me video games, and he's got really top shelf stuff, tons of TurboGrafx stuff, NES stuff, complete in box, really high end titles. I think I got 2 or 3 Rule of Rose from him. It was just like Hoarder Central. And I'm sorry, collector. Don't want to insult anybody here. Anyway, so he pulls out this Assassin's case, and sure enough, I had never seen one in person before, and I was able to purchase it from him. And I at the time, I wasn't actually sure what it was worth. I know games don't mean Sorry, I'm just gonna.
You're gonna mess with me about that for a while.
But so anyway, we agreed upon a price, and yeah, I had no idea. I had no idea. It was just one of those things that you like. If you left 5 minutes, I mean, I was 6 hours, 7 hours away from home. I had no idea how our paths crossed, and
It is definitely one of the top holy grail items in video game history. The Assassin's case. You don't rarely ever see them, not even online. It's just, yeah, it's a true holy grail because there's not that many out there, and a lot of people who own them they just have them, or they might not even know what they have. So it's an amazing item. And how long did you hold on to it for?
see, now he's gonna pick on me. I mean, I had it at least 12 hours.
Did you take a picture with it?
Yeah, I had some pictures of
Okay.
it. It might have been 10 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I had no idea that I was going to be able to buy it. I had no idea I was going to be able to sell it 12 hours later, but I was delivering some stuff to a buddy of mine, and he saw that gold, and he just had to have it. So I gave it to him.
Keep it?
Well, I gave it to him, and he paid for it. He paid for it. But we were both, as with all my deals, we were both happy with it.
Yep.
And but that was one of the crazy things. I used to, when I first started in the industry, I actually went door to door, knocking on people's doors.
That's right. I remember that.
And said, looking for games, I've got money. Yeah.
What was people's reaction?
They were like-
No, well, yeah, sometimes. It was kind of fun. I typically, they opened the door and I said, I'm not preaching a religion, I'm not trying to sell anything. And I would give them a flyer and say, this is some of the things I'm looking for. And yeah, it was a great idea from a great source. My brother was doing that at the time too, so he actually took me out. We went door to door, and it was fun. And you got a wide variety of stuff, and usually really cheap. Sometimes filled with bugs, sometimes not. I mean, if they say we had to put this in the freezer, you probably don't want to buy it because it's going to be filled with roaches.
Yeah. I had that happen to me when Xbox what needed to be fixed. The guy said, "Yeah, it stopped working. I don't know what happened." And we opened it up, and there was like this fried bugs in there were fried because it gets so hot. Everybody knows 360. That thing is super hot.
Well, it turns out roaches like warm spaces.
Yeah, they got fried.
That's what you want. But yeah, or if anyone ever gives you a console that's wrapped in cellophane completely, you probably don't want to take it, especially if it's free. What?
Who would do that?
I don't know. I had some jerk give me a console once. And it was wrapped in cellophane, and he said, here's a GameCube for free. And I didn't know any better. I was just, starting to get the bug, no pun intended. And a few weeks later, he said, hey, what did you ever do with that GameCube? I said, oh, it's probably still in my trunk. And he said, oh, probably don't want to deal with that, because that was filled with cockroaches. And I put cellophane on it, so it should be fine. Turned out it was fine. I just tossed it. But yeah, I mean, so some crazy stories there. Not just with crazy pickups. I mean, I've had really crazy stuff come through my hands, but the really interesting offers for other types of things. We have some children present, so I will talk in code, but yeah, people who negotiate all sorts of adult paraphernalia, adult services, and yeah, you never know what you're gonna. I mean, listen, I don't know. It's in Portland. You just keep Portland weird, right? I mean, what do you say when someone says, "Hey, would you take, will you give me 50 more and you have 30 minutes?" And no. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, crazy experiences.
Wow.
I've been threatened. I've been spit upon. I've been, I've had lawyers. I'm going to call my lawyer and sue because you knocked on my door and all sorts
I
of
feel
stuff.
like your shirt's something now that I know.
Well, I don't know. It's just kind of a gimmicky thing, but
Game father.
yeah.
At some point.
Yeah, so that's some of my great experiences. But you got to do what you got to do, and when I can get a game and get it to someone that I know, and their face lights up, and they they display it, and they tell all their friends, and they're as happy as can be. I mean, it's just the price you pay to get that jolt of adrenaline, that excitement.
Helping someone complete a collection or that super rare game they were looking for. Yeah, it means a lot.
Anyone here have any crazy stories? I'm sure you guys do. You guys gotta go knock on doors, look at those games, and I guarantee you'll have some crazy stories.
Yeah, try it out. Make sure you have some flyers though.
Get some flyers, find like the grungiest apartment building you can, and just don't dress too nice. Park, a few blocks away.
Yes, can't see your car.
If they ask how much cash are you gonna bring, then just probably not go to that appointment because you're gonna get mugged. But yeah, the do's and don'ts of being a reseller. I mean, there's some truth to being a filthy reseller because you got to do the down and dirty stuff to get these games. They're hard to find anymore.
Yeah, they are. It's been tough ever since. Around 2016, it started getting tougher, right? Was it around that time?
Well, I don't know. I've been blessed. I've always been able to
You always found
some
good stuff.
It's a full-time job.
He actually had found a Virtual Boy kiosk, the tall one. I don't know if you guys have seen it or any of you guys remember that. Those things were in GameStops back in the day. You stand up and you look at the Virtual Boy game and play. Or maybe they were Toys R Us. They were there. I can't remember, but you never see those anymore.
I think he just wants me to tell you guys that he told me about it.
Yeah, I was getting to that.
So he told me about it. So if you just wanted me to say something,
a little credit, man.
Okay. So yeah, once upon a time, Reggie found a Game Boy, Virtual Boy kiosk. Yeah,
a rare kiosk.
About it. Yeah. Yeah, no, that was a great time too. In fact, still in my garage. Gonna be delivered here the next day or two. So.
Cool.
But let's see what's next on our list. So, questions.
Yes.
You got to have some questions for us. Go ahead.
What would you say is like your worst buying or selling experience? If those stand
Go ahead, Reggie.
There's been quite a few, so I'm trying to think of that one. It's like, whoa, man, that's horrible. There was this one guy who was trying to pressure me to buy a game because he thought I was rich or something like that. He's like, come on, man, you did YouTube, you rich, you just get this game. I'm like, I'm good, dude. Like, I'm good. He kept pressuring me, following me. I'm like, dang, this is horrible, man. Like, I had to get on my phone for him to leave me, like, act like I was on my phone for him to stop pestering me. That was a bad experience. I can't think of one real crazy one right now because there's been a couple of them, but yeah. Yeah. How about you?
Well, I mean, we get frustrated, just like you guys do, because the same type of people that frustrate you frustrate us. They got a game for sale, they want you to give them a price, and then they shop to 10 buddies, and then it's on Facebook, or it's on Nintendo Age, or on eBay, and they're trying to get $5 more than you offered them. And I mean, it's just, I could talk about 1,000 different experiences like that. It just, it's hard to buy stuff because people get attached to it. People don't want to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they think they do, and then when it really comes down to it, they change their mind. And of course, there's always some dishonesty involved occasionally when, they say it works, or, they're supposed to be in this condition, and arrives and it's not. So just like you guys, similar experiences. You know, I've had a lot of awkward situations. I don't know if they were bad, but just stuff that I can talk about, you know, at a panel. Yeah, I mean, the crazy people that sell video games. They read a book on it. Yeah, what's up?
Go ahead.
So when did y'all know, when y'all felt it early, it's like hockey? It's just, when did you know, like, man, this right here just give me such satisfaction about just pop that disc and, you know, like, what game, what time, what stage in your life you were?
Yeah, I was around, I think I was around 14, 15, maybe 16 years old, is when I played my first PlayStation game, or saw my first PlayStation game. I always wanted video games to meet that medium where they're like kind of like movies and video games. And the thing for me was FMV mixed into video games. Like take for example, Resident Evil. The intro to that game is FMV, real actors, and then of course you have the game. So when games started getting like that, I started falling. That was my golden era of video games, the 5th generation. That's when I started like, man, I fell in love with the hobby again. Video games in general. My mom got me a Nintendo, Super Nintendo when I was younger, and I had all those games like Turtles of Time, Contra 3, all the games that everybody's looking for now. And when I got to high school, I just had no interest in that stuff anymore. I just didn't see any it didn't evolve enough for me, I guess, because, you know, eventually video games have to evolve a little bit for me to be interested. I sold all that stuff, and, you know, for cheap, you know, and you know, I didn't look back at it. You know, I didn't regret it or anything. And then when I got PlayStation, I just said, oh my God, video games, this is what I've always wanted. I mean, and asking me from that 5th generation era of video games, when the PlayStation came out, man, that changed everything. Like, video games started getting noticed like as mainstream, like serious, you know, movies and just all kinds of stuff, you know. You know, not all the movies based off video games have been great, you know. Even though I enjoy Super Mario Brothers, the movie, I think it's fantastic. I love it. I do, man. I got the Laserdisc, the DVDs. I don't have the Blu-ray. I don't think there is one yet. I don't like Double Dragon. I still can never watch that one. They did Double Dragon movies, so people don't. You can't watch it.
Isn't that where Bowser came from?
Which one?
Mario movie?
Which one? Bowser? Yeah, they called him King Koopa in that, but yeah, that's his other name. And yeah, not all video game movies are bad. I mean,
Let's
Doom
be
was
honest
good.
though, how could you play PlayStation? Most of those games are unplayable for me.
No.
It's like 2 toasters.
Well.
I mean, those graphics.
Yeah, graphically, it hasn't aged well, but still, man, I mean, the way at that time, though, I just remember that time of playing and how much I enjoyed it. You know, I had a great time.
Tomb Raider.
I could never, Tomb Raider was a big thing back then. I mean, even though it had terrible
You
controls,
look at it now.
terrible controls, you know, horrible to play that game. But we found a way and we enjoyed it because Tomb Raider was all about exploring and trying to get to the high area and find this, and that's what it was about. You know, it felt like it was really in depth, I guess. You know, it felt like a real adventure. You know, I mean, it was 3D. I mean, pretty much like a sandbox game. You know, you kind of get to go where you want. You know, but it was a good time. Now again, those games haven't aged well. I mean, I'm not going to go back and play Tomb Raider now. I mean, not especially with the new one out. The new one is awesome, but the old one definitely hasn't aged well. But I still enjoy it to some degree because my memories with it, and I can still play it well. So, 5th generation, the golden era.
What was that? Well, for me, I grew up, you know, NES era, Super Nintendo. I played a lot of video games through about Nintendo 64, and then thought the GameCube looked like trash. It looked like it was meant for a 10-year-old. And so that was, you know, I was in high school, end of high school, and just lost interest. You know, there were other things that I was interested in. You know, I always had some girl I was chasing after or something. You know, sports and whatnot. But what was that? No, I'm not after her game. She's after my game.
There you go.
No, I mean, I never really collected. So we had games and we played them. I honestly have no idea where our games wound at. My parents were never either. Probably my younger brother took them and sold them. You know, but and then actually when I was early 20s, I picked up an Xbox and started playing games. And I honestly, it had been a little bit since I played stuff, and I started getting motion sickness when I play games, and I just I just kind of lost interest because I didn't feel good after, 30 or 40 minutes of playing. And now, when I'm a little older, and when I started doing this as a business, it kind of revitalized all those, early childhood emotions, primarily for the card-based stuff. That's really where I was at. And, I kind of catch that collecting bug every now and then and throw stuff on the shelf. But it's more like signage for me, arcade cabs, pinballs, showcases, stuff like that. That's kind of what I keep. Because unfortunately, when you see these games over and over and over again, they're just not as exciting as they should be. So, good question though.
Got a question for each of you.
Yeah.
Josh, if you have the graded games, have you ever opened one, and if you did, what was the highest grade on it?
So after it's been graded?
After it's been
So I've never opened one after it's been graded. You can open them, and the good thing about these cases in particular is that they're tamper evident. I mean, you have to destroy it in order to open it. So you can't swap games. You can't just crack it open and put a different game in there. There's rumors and theories that other cases may not be as secure. So there's always that to be worried about. But I have a couple graded right now on their system, like 9.6 with the A++, rating for the seal. And I've had some VGA graded games that were, I think, 90, 95. I've seen some hundreds and stuff, but I've never owned any. But a lot of this stuff, especially if it's like a loose card, the grading isn't nearly as important. It's almost like a comic where, on some of them you get a 4 or 5 and you're thrilled, because it's been used and whatnot. But there's definitely, the sealed stuff, people want it, to top shape.
And Reggie, I have a question for you.
Yes.
I came here, I wanted to ask, passing any of the Woods of Shadow European edition,
Oh.
God mask in there,
Yeah.
and it's sealed, should have great to see.
Yes. Right now, in front of everybody. You gotta
I'll do that on Halloween.
Yeah, definitely do that, man. Leaving stuff sealed all the time, you'll start keeping more stuff sealed. That stuff is meant to be played. So yeah, definitely open it, man. Unless you have 2 copies, then maybe you can keep it sealed. But
Get 2 or 3, that's Reggie style.
yeah.
You can open one and keep one sealed.
There you go. Yeah, no problem, man. Awesome.
Yeah, Coach.
I'm just curious what your gaming lifestyle looks like. I've only started seriously collecting, I guess, in the last year because I just decided I'm going to stop selling games and just keep them.
Yeah.
And then going to these cons has been a little bit addicting. So now I've got a huge freaking stack of games that I've never played. And I'm looking at you with your big blue bag of games.
Yeah.
Do you say, okay, Tuesday's going to be retro game, or do you play one game and stick with it and beat it, or do you just play whatever the heck you want at the time?
Oh gosh, so it's kind of changed over the last couple years ever since I started YouTube. Now I'm playing games to capture footage for a video. I'm trying to get back into the groove of playing games and really enjoying them. And I do that, but it's just not as much. But usually what I do is I usually play certain games all the way through, something like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, because I love the Tomb Raider games. I'll play that all the way through. Something like Spider-Man, which I have. I plan on playing it all the way through. But mostly I try to play indie games now, something that's short and sweet, nothing that's too long. When it comes to RPGs, I don't go with new RPGs because they haven't proven themselves. So I stick with a series like the Tales of series. Have you heard of that series? Those games always made me happy. Very fun RPGs to go through. Just more games that are longer, probably more mainstream, that have proven themselves to me over the years. So I stick with those. When it comes to new IPs, I'm very cautious of giving them my time because I don't know if it's worth it. And if you force yourself to play a game and you don't really like it that much, you're gonna be burnt out afterwards. I've done that a couple of times on RPGs, and it's like, ugh.
I imagine you're bringing home all these games and they're going on your shelf.
Yeah, I have to rearrange the room again.
Right?
Yeah, I know, right? I have to rearrange the room, fit them up there, and just, game room is always constantly changing. It's insane. I have to have a room for my games because I don't want them all over my apartment because that would drive me crazy. There's a room for them. They have to stay in there, and that's how I do it. But yeah, I'm always constantly changing that room. But did I answer your question?
Yeah, basically, yeah, I guess that whole collector slash game, like player.
Yeah.
Balance.
Exactly. But I am getting back into the groove of like playing the games like more often. So
Yeah, for me, my gamer lifestyle is buy a new game with intent to play it and then don't get around to it. So-
And then sell it later on.
Well, I mean, what I get excited about, I don't have time to play. I mean, the games are so long anymore. I mean, playing through Skyrim, I think I put 150 hours into it, you know, and questioned my life afterwards. But honestly, when I want to have some entertainment and relaxation, lately I've been just going down and playing pinball. I have a Lord of the Rings pinball, and I honestly, I don't know. I would rather do that or play an arcade machine, play some old retro stuff. They're quick. And I have, you know, I have games that I would like to get to, and I just never get to them. I mess around with the Switch with my kids. You know, we play, you know, 2 games on there. They're looking forward to Smash coming out, and then play quite a bit of Breath of the Wild. So it looks like we only have about 5 more minutes left. So we wanted to do actually a special break the seal with you guys. So has anyone never opened up a seal game? Kids. You with the green shirt. Come on up here. We're gonna let this young man
break the seal.
break the seal
This is an epic moment. It's awesome. Man.
on a Pilot Wing 64. Okay. So you can choose how you want to do this. You can tear it open. I can give you a pocket knife and you can be really gentle. And you can keep the cellophane on it, or you can just tear it open. The only caveat is you have to open it and smell what's inside. That's that, right?
Yeah. That new game smell.
Okay.
Carefully open. Wow. Okay.
He's like, I want to use a knife.
This is
Wow, that was interesting.
true collector. What's your
That's
name?
clever. Yeah. Wow.
Ian. This is Ian. He's gonna be a collector who has a meticulous. So here's a pocket knife. Now you're gonna want to go right along this seal. Don't cut the box. Really gently open it up. Okay. Don't cut toward yourself. I don't want to get sued here. Not that way. That's toward yourself. There you go. Careful. Cut the box.
Good job.
There you go. In there.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, now you have to go down the sides a little bit. So then, there you go.
There you
Now you can feel that back. Scratch.
There you go. Good job.
Now be really careful with this because we don't want that thumbprint, right? So, it's stressful. Now, so, okay, I'm just showing you, intentionally, gently open it up so you don't.
I always have a hard time opening up the cardboard seal, like.
All right, so this is the trick. This is the trick for it. Get a staple puller, not like the claw ones, but the one that's just it's just like a pen that has a little metal piece on the side, or you can get anything with a flat edge, and then you can slide on the sides for these because there's a little notch in there, right? So then you can kind of work the sides open. And once you do that, it'll come right open. You'll never.
Oh, you can stick it in. Yeah. There you go. You got it.
There you go.
Perfect.
Now try to smell it. All right, Ian, we're gonna let you keep the game too.
One of the first 64 games released with the system during its launch. Pilot Wings was, I believe, yeah.
All right, so
Very cool, man.
keep the box. I'll give you this box protector. Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. That's great, yeah.
Protector. So here, you can take the
Manuals
back
are
end of your
important.
seat. and keep it all nice and pretty. And then I have some shirts to give away, game baller shirts.
Yep.
And let's see, you want to take a shirt, and then you're probably gonna need a smaller size. So you can come by my booth and get a different size. And then I've got 4 more shirts that Reggie's gonna give away.
All right.
And if you need a different size, just swing by my booth, number 210, right in the center, and I can get you a different size. The other thing I just want to announce, my booth, I'm doing a $500 shopping spree giveaway. And what's unique about that is Reggie is going to be your personal shopping buddy. So tickets are only $1 a piece. I'm going to pull it no matter how many tickets I sell. And then about 3 o'clock tomorrow, I'm gonna announce that, and then Reggie can tell you about all those hidden gems.
All right, yeah. All right.
Thank you for
Thanks,
coming.
guys. Appreciate all you being here.